This morning I want to go to the wise. I want to do a clip here from the BBC, and I will pick up on the other side of this clip.
As people were
Let me
trying
start it over
to get
the
food
top.
from aid trucks. CNN's Jeremy Diamond is gathering new details. Eyewitnesses and the Hamas-run Palestinian Ministry of Health say that more than 100 people were killed in what is being described as a chaotic incident as IDF soldiers opened fire as people were trying to get food from aid trucks. CNN's Jeremy Diamond is gathering new details. He's been picking up some new reporting. Jeremy, bring us up to speed here.
Well, first of all, Kate, I think it's important to note that the aid situation, the humanitarian situation in northern Gaza is just so desperate. And that seems to be part of what led to this scene. Hundreds, if not thousands of people surrounding some of these aid trucks that were able to enter northern Gaza, some of the very few aid trucks that have actually been able to make it in there. And you can see in this video by the from the Israeli military, the crowds of people around these trucks. But what appears to have happened is that the Israeli military opened fire on some of these people who were surrounding these trucks. An Israeli military official telling us that the crowd approached the forces in a manner that posed a threat to the troops, and they say that those troops then responded with live fire. Now, eyewitnesses on the scene have told us that Israeli tanks as well as drones opened fire on this crowd, and that following that, there was a chaotic scene. Some of the drivers of these aid trucks apparently tried to get away amid this gunfire and killed several additional people. We were told that 104 people were killed in this incident, 760 people injured, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. It's not clear yet how many of those were killed by Israeli gunfire versus by these trucks and the ensuing chaos. But our eyewitnesses on the ground indicate that it was the Israeli gunfire that prompted some of those trucks to flee the scene and in the process run over some of these individuals. But we are still working to gather additional details. The Israeli military says for its part that the incident is under review, and they are also saying in a statement that Gazan residents surrounded the trucks, looted the supplies being delivered, and that during the incident, dozens of Gazans, they say, were injured as a result of pushing and trampling. This was clearly more than just pushing and trampling, and we have eyewitnesses making very clear that the Israeli military did indeed open fire on these individuals as well. Now, we should note that this is only happening because of how desperate the humanitarian situation is in northern Gaza. Very few aid trucks have actually been able to make it in there. The World Food Program recently suspended aid deliveries to northern Gaza, saying that it was too unsafe. Part of that has to do with a lack of coordination with the Israeli military to get those trucks into a war zone safely in a way that they are not targeted. And it also has to do with the fact that the Israeli military in the past has targeted police officers who have been around those aid convoys. And so there is very little security for these. You combine that lack of security, you combine that with the fact that people are on the brink of famine in northern Gaza, and then the Israeli military also being on the scene. And this is the situation that appears to have.
Okay, I guess you have heard it from the BBC themselves. What I'm saying here is that this is what I continue to try to report in the face of pastors and Christians who continue to tell you craziness about Israel being God people. This morning I decided to bring a live event that happened where thousands of people who had not been fed, who are on the verge of starvation, gathered around a convoy that was bringing aid. And Israel, whatever reason it was, fired upon these human beings, killing a lot of them. Some of them were run over by the trucks as the truck tried to get away, hearing gunshots and drones and things like that. This is a reality that I keep bringing to you every Sunday morning, that there's a genocide that is going on, that there's war crimes that are being committed by Israel, and the accomplished America, only America, no, it was America and England, all of them being, but all of them have taken a side and asking that we have a ceasefire. And when I see these folks who don't know God, unbelievers, saying that this is barbaric and this is a massacre, and this is war crime, and this is a genocide. And I have Christian people saying Israel has the right to go forward with this. It is mind-boggling that these folks this morning will be standing up all over the world preaching the gospel of Jesus, the love of God, and saying that what is happening in Gaza is okay. It is Israel standing, occupier defending themselves. I keep saying to you, Israel is an occupier. An occupier cannot claim self-defense. Somebody cannot come into my house to steal or my house to reside, and I act against them, and then they wound me based on self-defense. It doesn't work like that. Natural law will not allow it to work like that. I just want you all to know, folks, that this is a time that it never was. The Bible said there will be a time it never was, but I feel we are entering that time where the strong will continue to emasculate the weak, where the strong will continue to claim right because of strength, when the strong will continue to stand and dole out injustices because of their strength. We are entering a period, as the Bible says, a time like never was. I want to do some promotion, but I want to do at the end of the program. I will cut off whatever, because this promotion I have to do, it is very, very serious. But this morning, there's a conference that begins at the University of the Southern Caribbean on Thursday and Friday, a conference on health and a conference on spirituality and health. It's an international conference. The featured speaker for that conference will be Dr. David Williams, who is the most cited Black sociologist in the world. And he's a Caribbean man. He's from St. Lucia, but he did his first degree at the University of Southern Caribbean, then Caribbean Union College. And this is a conference that will take in speakers from universities all over the world, and even from other Christian denomination universities also. It is a conference on health, it's a conference on spirituality and religion. I don't have the name of it now, but that conference is on. And I agree with you, Terence. It's allowed to happen because because US wanted to happen. So this morning, I want to go right into our whole thing: spirituality, religion, and health. Now, spirituality and religious factors indeed play a very significant role, I want you to know, in health outcomes. Christians do that all along, and we come to it, how they had practiced that. But I want to say to all those who are listening to me this morning that spirituality and religion are factors that significantly impact health. I want to explore the connection. We may all have an understanding of what is religion and what is health. So I will discuss, for the most part, spirituality. And before we proceed to anything, I'll try to get a good understanding of spirituality and how it impacts health. Spirituality is a broad concept of a belief in something beyond the self. It is I know Christian, when you think about spirituality, we only see it through the eyes of our desire for God, how God influences us. But spirituality is a word that is broader than that. It's not our word. I want you to know that. So when we use it in our narrow context and we know what we mean, do not jealous anyone using another context, because it's not our word. Spirituality is a broad concept of a belief in something beyond the self. It is an individual's search for ultimate or sacred meaning and purpose in life. It is also a sense of connection to something bigger than oneself and a search for meaning in life. Spirituality can be concerned with religion or religious matters, or with spiritual things or values. Spirituality can also involve religious experience. So when we say it's spiritual, sometimes we say it, we have an understanding what it means, but we cannot enunciate what we mean by it. But when we say it, we use it in the proper context in the Christian world. Spirituality encompasses a rich tapestry of meaning and interpretation. And let's explore this multifaceted concept. One is a search of ultimate or sacred meaning. Spirituality involves an individual quest for deeper understanding, transcending the mundane, and seeking profound significance of self. Purpose in life also. Spirituality delves into the purpose of existence. It prompts us to explore our roles in the grand scheme of things. Beyond mere survival of material pursuits, it's about finding meaning and direction in our journey. And I guess as a Christian, you listen to me, you are beginning to understand this is what I feel. I've never put it in these words, but this is what I feel. Is a connection to something bigger. Spirituality acknowledges that we are part of a larger whole, a cosmic web, a universal consciousness of a divine presence. It is a recognition that our individual lives are intertwined with a greater tapestry of existence. We know that we are not alone. We know as Christians, we know that there's something outside of us that make us behave differently from those who want to run in tongue again. We know we are different from that. And we know that difference is because of that spiritual thing that we quest for, that power that is rest upon us in such a way that compels us as believers to give up the natural things that we have as a people and to focus ourselves on the things of God. And that's what we call our spiritual self. Religion, but there are non-religious aspects of spirituality also. As I said to you, it's not our word. Spirituality is confined for us to religious dogma. It can coexist with or transcend organized religion. While some find spiritual fulfillment with religious framework, others seek it independently of any specific faith or tradition. They see it as an emboldened that is bigger than them. They see that a feeling that is great, a feeling that they know is not of their own earthly experience, and they call it, it's spiritual. You will hear a rapper from sometimes say, this is spiritual, but you know he doesn't mean what you mean. And you might think, well, that can't be spiritual. It is spiritual in the sense of what he is, what we say is greater than ourselves, what we say is influencing our being, what we say that drive us to be different. He is saying that in his own word. In essence, spirituality invites us to explore the ineffable, connect with the sacred, and seek purpose beyond the material world. For many, it is through prayer and meditation. For some, through nature or acts of compassion. It's a journey that transcends boundaries and invites us to explore the depths of our own innermost feelings. That's what we consider to be spirituality. But there was a study led by researchers at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and Brigham Women's Hospital found that spirituality influenced key outcomes in illness, such as the quality of life and medical care decisions. So they are saying your spiritual self will impact your health. And they went on. For many patients, spirituality is important and it should be incorporated into care for both serious illness and overall health disease. And Christians, we know that. As soon as we become sick, the first thing we think about praying, asking people to pray for us, because we are saying that there's a spiritual aspect of this thing, and we are saying that spirituality will bring the cure to the name, in our essence, the name Jesus Christ. This study by Harvard showed it should be a vital part of the whole person-centered care. These are secular researchers who recognize this through their research. Spirituality should be incorporated in care for both serious illness and overall health. According to a study led by researchers at Harvard School, they are saying that it is important to health. I remember last week when Dr. Chan was with us, she said that the medical world, they are now going through the social sciences to understand how to heal people. They are also going through this issue of religion also. I remember in St. Anne's, Dr. Parasram, many years ago, he said that the only result they are having, he's a man of science, and he said the result is greater from those who accept and embrace spirituality. He said that about 20 years ago. It is greater from those who embrace spirituality. He recognized by his observance that those who have a spiritual side to it, they are the ones who are most effectively healed. Our findings, going back to the study, this study truly represents the most rigorous and comprehensive systematic analysis of modern day literature regarding health and spirituality to date. This is a bold study. The findings indicate that attention to spirituality in serious illness and health should be a vital part of future whole person-centered care. And the results should stimulate more national discussion and progress on how spirituality can be incorporated in this type of value-sensitive case. Spirituality is important to many patients as they think about their health. And I know most of you are listening to me right now. If you are sense that you are ill, especially if the illness is terminal, that it draws you to that spiritual side. Because somewhere in your subconscious, it tells you that when you cannot go further, you have a God who can take it beyond. According to the National Consensus Conference on Spiritual Care and Health Care, spirituality is the way individuals seek ultimate meaning, purpose, connection, value, or transcendence. This could include organized religion, but extend well beyond to include ways of finding ultimate meaning by connecting, for example, to family, community, or nature. There's some folks say it's good therapy. Just walk among the plants. It's good therapy to get up in the morning and sit on your veranda or in the back of your house and hear the birds whistle. And I say this, I want to tell you, those who have birds in cages, let go of those birds. Why would you want to cage them? Why would you want to take away their freedom when God gives them this great expanse that they can fly everywhere? And I want to say to you, the purpose of birds whistling from 5 to about 6:30 in the morning and during the day you can't see them, it is because it is God's purpose. That's why we get oxygen. Because the dew that rests on the leaves as the bird whistles early in the morning, the pores of those leaves are open and the dew seeps into those plants and those leaves, and that's how it contributes to the oxygen that we breathe. So when you selfishly lock away a bird, no reason, no crime the bird commit, it is wicked. But let me move on. I will come back to that whole article on that one day. In the study, Barboni, Van der Wiel, and Cole and colleagues systematically identified and analyzed the highest quality evidence on spirituality in serious illness and health. And this was published between January 2000 and April 2022. Of the 8,000, that's a large sample they're using here, of the 8,946 articles concerned with serious illness, 371 articles met the study's strict inclusion criteria, as the 215 of the 645 articles focus on health outcomes. Usually, when people speaking about health and health outcomes, they hardly consider spirituality. But it had been so compelling in these researches on health that so many of them had to include it, although they were secular scientists. Are you understanding what I'm saying this morning? Focusing on spirituality and healthcare means caring for the whole person, not just their disease. And this is promoted at the community hospital of Seventh-day Adventists in Cocoreed. When you go to the community hospital, you are not just going there for healthcare as other hospitals. They are applying what research has found to be effective in restoration of health. And that's the idea of spirituality. It's important. All the research are showing that it adds to healthcare It adds to healing. It adds to restoration. It adds to peace of mind. A structured multidisciplinary group of experts called the Delphi panel then reviewed the strong collective evidence and offered consensus implication for health and healthcare. They noted that for healthy people, spiritual community participation, as exemplified by religious service attendance, is associated with healthier lifestyle, including greater longevity, less depression and suicide, and less substance use. And I'm feeling buoyed this morning. My paws are racing because these are not people of my persuasion. Yet they are finding, they are recognizing that spirituality plays a part in human development. They went on, for many patients, spirituality is important and influences key outcomes in illness, such as quality of life and medical care discussions. Hence, it is obvious, friends, that integrating spirituality into care can help each person have a better chance of reaching complete well-being and the toughest and the highest attainable standard of health. For years, Christians have depended upon prayers and argue that it was beneficial. Now there's empirical evidence, not by believers who can say, they're screwing the whole thing to say what they want to say, but by non-believers, by social scientists, by people who have no relationship or have no desire to have a relationship with God. They are saying to you that spirituality impacts. For those who don't see the need to go to church, the research shows that even if you are indifferent, the spiritual community participation leads to good health. Healthy individuals who engage in spiritual community activities, such as religious service attendance, tend to experience healthier lives. The Delphi Group is saying that. Those benefits include greater longevity, they reduce depression, they lower suicide rate, and less substance abuse. They use positive beliefs and well-being, that even if the person may be going to die and they are told that they have a few weeks left, yet they are positive in their outlook. They are not begging God for a few more days. They have a positive outlook as they lie there peacefully. The well-being, the positive beliefs, the comfort and strength gained from religion, meditation, and prayer contribute to well-being even of the sick. So while improving health, spiritual health may not directly cure an illness, it can certainly help individuals feel better. Remember, even if there's no cure, the doctor say, you throw up the gloves, it is over. They're saying that spiritual care, when you go to the hospital, let you stay home and watch television. Anytime you have time, walk down to the hospital, pray with somebody, give them hope. They say they feel better, even in the sickness. Because spirituality is found, because spirituality is found in different ways to different people groups, no one really knows for sure how spirituality is related to health. We who have a belief, we believe that God answers prayer and there are miracles that can be wrought through prayer. But we also believe God brings comfort to people. So he said, for the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout and the voice of the archangel and the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. And we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. And then Paul said, comfort one another. Comfort one another with these words. Comfort one another that we serve a God who cares. Comfort one another that God is coming back for us. Comfort one another that when we agonize and when we're in pain, he's there in the shadows. He's looking on and he's throwing out his hands to us and he's telling us that there's a better day and a better way. comfort one another. However, it seems that the body, the mind, and the spirit are connected. The health depends not only on having a body free from biological challenges, but of comfort of mind also. Body, mind, and comfort and peace with those around you, peace in your feelings, peace in your desires, your soul. Body, mind, and soul comes together to make one pretty healthy. So you can be healthy biologically, but if you have bad mind, if you're a hater, if you're a gossiper, you will be sick. You'll be sick. Or if you have a good mind, yeah, and you have a good body biologically, but you always griping about not having and what you should have, and your desires always running crazy, and you feel that you don't have enough, and you will be sick also. The soul is sick. Some research shows a connection between your beliefs and your sense of well-being. Positive beliefs, comfort, and strength, that's what we call the soul, gain from religion, meditation, and prayer. And this can contribute to well-being. It may even produce healing. Improving your spiritual health may not cure an illness, but it may help you feel better, as I said before. It also presents some health problems and help you cope better with illness, stress, or death. Spirituality is not just saying praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. It's in that feeling, a feeling of power, a feeling that Jesus resides in you, a feeling that you are different based on what he has done in your life, a feeling that when you walk out, you cannot walk out the way you walked in, a feeling that you can go above and beyond what is happening. That's it. And it's improved. If you want to improve your spiritual health, you may want to try the following ideas. However, remember that everyone is different. What works for others may not work for you. So do what you are comfortable with. The first thing I said, you need to identify the things in your life that gives you a sense of inner peace, comfort, strength, love, and connection. So there are some relationships you have to break out of because it will not help you. There are some organization and group you need to walk away from because it will not help you. There are some standards and there are some folks who love moving up, and there are sometimes working right where you are might be the best thing to generate that sense of inner peace and comfort and strength. And you don't need that promotion. Sometimes just being where you are, you can do more for yourself. You can more for God, more for your family than moving up as you may think it will do. And then you need to avoid gossip and gossipers at all costs. There are many. They are even in the church. They're even among leadership. You avoid gossipers and gossip. Stay away from where they are. Stay away from where they commute. Stay away from where they congregate. And set your minds on things that will build you up. Set aside time every day to do the things that help you spiritually. These may include doing community service or volunteer work, praying, meditating, singing devotional songs, reading inspirational books, taking nature walks, having quiet time for thinking, playing a sport, or attending religious services. These are the things that will build you spiritually and set you above and keep you in good health. If your doctor is treating you for an illness, you should consider sharing your spiritual beliefs with him. You see, your spirituality might affect your feelings and thoughts about medical situation. If you think your spiritual life's beliefs are affecting your health, your healthcare decision, tell your doctor. You should always tell your doctor if your spirituality is preventing you from following his or her recommendation. It is that big, friends. And sometimes it is ignored as a pertinent part of the whole thing. And because that is ignored, things are being treated for without that element in it. And you find you're growing sicker and sicker, more medication, and you still getting sick. The talk of mental health is more common than ever. Be mindful that religion and spirituality can impact mental health also. I guess all of you know someone who may see him or herself as religious, but for all who are around him or her, sometimes something doesn't seem right. And you recognize this person is more mentally challenged than spiritual. Every time I drive from where I'm home and I get to Brentwood in Chaguanas there, I see a guy always standing by that roundabout, talking to himself and looking up in the air. And he's preaching a sermon, hot sun, dark evening, but he's there. Some may say that he's spiritual. But I think for most who pass by, you have your doubts. Because spirituality contributes also to good decisions. Going to the doctor is a tricky thing. Remember, unless it is a physical injury, he cannot tell what is wrong and can never know how you feel, regardless of what you come to him with. It is what on your mind that you need to show, because he will never know. Understanding whether these struggles are cause or effect of mental health problem is crucial for effective treatment. If religious or spiritual struggles are a primary source of mental health issues, addressing them along psychological concerns become essential. Religion and spirituality are important resources to many people. Hundreds of studies have shown significant link between health and various facets of religion or spirituality, from prayer and medication to participation in rituals and religious service. Religion is a serious issue. It's a serious issue. And spirituality is something that you need to guard dearly, even from religion sometimes. Religion or spirituality are also commonly called upon in times of crisis, as evidenced most recently by COVID-19 pandemic. From February to March 2020, the period was when cases of COVID dramatically surged. Google search for the term prayer increased 50% in 95 countries around the globe. People recognized that their loved ones were not coming home and they couldn't see them. They recognized when their loved ones went into the hospice, they were in the departure lounge. And people began to seek God out because it is innate in us to reach out for that higher being. And that's an aspect of spirituality. So while medical science fought gallantly to bring COVID-19 to an end, the greatest fight against finding a cure came from religion and spirituality. If ever we had witnessed the role religion and spirituality play in impacting health was during COVID-19. Many unfortunately rejected science and died on the altar of religion and spirituality. In fact, even now, although COVID is in its last stage, it has come to an end from what we know it. If you ask some of these religious or spiritual people, what brought an end to COVID? They will never speak the truth. They will never tell you, hey, when we got vaccination, that's when we saw the thing start to fall apart. But before that, we were dying by the thousand. We were placed in containers. We were placed on ships on the ocean. We were buried without seeing our loved ones. All that happened. And it was going on, and we were quarantined in all hotels and all rooms, and all the people couldn't fly into the country. All that was happening, friends. What stopped that? It is also true, however, that religion or spirituality can be a source of stress and strain at times, including times of upheaval. Major life crises can affect people not only psychologically, socially, and physically, but spiritually as well, by raising profound, unsettling questions. How can God allow such pain and suffering? I know you know that. How can God allow this to happen to me? My son, my daughter, my wife, my husband, my girlfriend, how can God allow this to happen? And you say, am I being punished? Do I still believe in God? How can I live up to my spiritual values? Has my religious community abandoned me? Does my life have a deeper ultimate purpose and meaning? People have left churches on these questions. People have gone crazy on these questions. People have committed suicide on these questions. Questions such as these are of a religious and spiritual struggle. That would cause that. In the last 25 years, religious or spiritual struggles have begun to receive attention from researchers and practitioners. This growing body of work indicates that religious and spiritual struggles are an important part of human experience, one that holds significant implications for health and well-being. As simple as you see there, you believing that God has abandoned you can take you down a road that you never thought that you would have gone. As simple as you see there, a family member becoming ill can take you down a road, friend, all the way into mental health. Believing that somehow you are punished, believing that God is not there, believing that conceptually, religious and spiritual struggle can be grouped into three general categories. Supernatural struggle involving perception of deities or demonic evil forces, intra-psychic struggles that relate to strains and tension about religion and spiritual belief, moral issues and ultimate meaning, and interpersonal struggle that involves conflict with other people about religious issues. In support of this general conceptual framework, a factor analytic study by Exline, Parliament, and Grubbs, 2014, identifies 6 types of religious and spiritual struggles. Yes, they are struggles. These struggles are divine struggles, anger or disappointment with God, and feeling punished, abandoned, or unloved by God. Then there's the demonic struggles, worries that problems are caused by devil or evil spirits, and feeling of being attacked or tormented by devil. Friend, I want to say to you who feel attacked by devil, over 99% of the reason why what is happening to you is health issues. There's a very small percent is actually demonic. So the first place you go when things look strange is to your doctor. I'm going to say to your religious leader, but there are some religious leaders are bogged down in the foolishness that will tell you devils too. But go to your doctor. Go to someone who you know might be religious, but you know that they are above the fray. It's hardly ever demon possession. And then we have the issue of doubt-related struggles, feeling confused about religion or spiritual beliefs, feeling troubled by doubts or questions about religious and spirituality. There are some people every morning they're in a different church, changing beliefs, changing system, baptizing over and over and over again. They have a doubt-related struggle. And that is where the man who believes that he stands for God needs to be involved. Then there's the moral struggles, tension and guilt about not living up to one's higher standard, and wrestling with attempts to follow moral principle. First thing, folks, when you are having your moral struggles, you must understand that this is not a gene that is causing it. It's a behavioral trait, a learned behavior from who you see and what you watch and what you read and family. So those are the things you need to separate from first. And join a group who are not into the moral failings that you are involved in. And from them, you will learn. It will not happen overnight because your behavior is a learned behavior. So those things that you do, it become very natural for you to do. What you need to do is pull away from the things that you hold dearly, the things that you look at, the things that you read, the friends that you have, and join a community that have that strong spiritual binding. And then the struggles of ultimate meaning, concern that life may not really matter, and questions about whether one's own life has deeper meaning. You begin to wonder about if this is, friend, you have done all that you can. Now you stand. Let God do the rest. You do not try to be the fourth member of a Godhead. You do not try to be an assistant of the Holy Spirit. You do what you can and then stand. And then interpersonal conflicts with other people and institutions about sacred issues, anger at organized religion, and feeling hurt, mistreated, or offended by others. And I will tell you something. I don't think there is a minister of the gospel who can boast about being treated by organization as I am. But it has not stopped me from being a firebrand for the Lord, for reaching out to help, for doing counseling and things like that. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I'm not a paid minister. I work at the University of Southern Caribbean, but I'm certain there is no minister who are counseling more people than I have, who have made more visits to people's house than I have been, who have preached more sermons and write more sermons than I have been, because I see it not as being a call to organization, but a call to God. I may not be perfect, but who is? But one thing I do know is that separate yourself from the things that make you struggle, from the things that make you ill. Separate yourself even from the things that you hear. And you just do what you believe that God has called you to do. You just do that. If you are having struggles, just want you to know that they are normal and more common than you think because of the struggle you're going through. Those are normal struggles. Religious and spiritual struggles are an important part of life stories of many people, past and present. These struggles loom large in the narratives of world religion. Exemplars, Job questioning why the religion suffer, why he's a religious person and he's suffering, Job 9:22-24. Jesus' final anguish plea, an expression of abandonment of the cross. Maybe it is to tell us that you will have these struggles. He said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Matthew 27:46. To the great moral, I dealt with Judaism there and Christianity, to the great moral temptation Siddhartha Gautama faced before he became the Buddha, to the Dalai Lama resistance or the effort of the Chinese regime to stifle Buddhism, to expression in Tibet. Religious and spiritual struggles can also be found in the biographies of notable scientific and literary figures: Galileo, Leo Tolstoy, Charles Darwin, Virginia Woolf. A lot of great folks. Some were wrong, some died atheists, but the idea of religious struggles had been in their life. There was a large national survey that indicated that this America I'm talking about, 33% of the participants reported experiencing religious and things struggle. I want to end here. I think Ruskin can hear me, can open the line that somebody may want to call and interact with me, can get a chance. I'm not hearing, so if, I don't know why. Okay, Ruskin is not there, so okay, let me continue. If anybody want to get on to me, you may have to go Facebook and YouTube and put in a message. Do not put in a message on YouTube for the radio or Instagram for the radio, any of the radio platforms. Do not send a question for me there. I will not see it. I will not know you are there. Now, religious and spiritual struggle grows out of personal, social, and situation forces. Lacking a strong sense of purpose and significance in life has linked with higher levels of will. If you don't have a self-purpose, if you are so distraught, if you are so broken, if you are so going through lifelong challenges, you may find more challenges there. But I'm saying to you that follow the things I said to you. Pull away from negative people. Do not hang out with people. Let them talk what you do not hear. Or do you hear? Do not internalize. and work on you as you are. Remember, you were not fortunate as everyone else, but you are fortunate, more fortunate than many others. You have been socialized in a certain way that will impede and predict many aspects of your behavior. But pulling away from those forces that socialize you and the things that socialize you and the things that you fed upon and joining communities where people do not have those things can help you go a long way. And remember, there's someone who is rooting for you even in the darkness. There's someone who is rooting for you when you are down. There's someone who is rooting for you every hour, every minute, and that one is Jesus Christ. Run yourself into him. And do not think that you are too evil or you are too dysfunctional, that you cannot. He accepts the broken. He is a God of second chances. He is a God who those who are broken and those who are spirit cannot soar. He will mend your wings. He will set you on high, the psalmist say, because you have known his name. He will walk with you in the darkness and provide that light. He will be with you when you struggle, when the tears roll down your face. He'll be there to suck those tears. He'll be there to dry those tears. When you lay at night, not knowing what tomorrow will bring, he will still give you comfort and sleep. Once your mind is trained upon him, he is the God of yesterday. He is the God of tomorrow. But more so, I'm the God of today, but more so, he's the God of tomorrow. He's the God that is bringing you on. He's the God that's walking up and down with you. He's the God that's going to rescue you. And for whoever listening to me this morning, I'm saying to you, spirituality plays a part in good health. It plays a part in healing. It plays a part even in dying. It plays positive parts. Do not ignore it. And for those who may have missed some of what I said today, this video remain on YouTube and on Facebook, and you can go back. It's an important work. You know, the Bible says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together as the manner of some is. Jesus was saying to us that coming together in that community of believers, it is good for our health. That's what he's saying. He said, forsake not the garden of yourself. Hebrews 24:10. Forsake not the garden of yourself together, as the manner of some is. But as you see the new day dawning, gather with the saints, sing the gospel song, speak to people who love and care, and people see the world the way you see the world in Christ. And you will find peace. Peace. You'll find joy. You'll find contentment. And you will be comforted. Before we go, I want to just hear out. I know last week I said to you, I saw somebody named Betty Ann. I wasn't sure and who had contributed to the program. I found out who the Betty Ann is, and I want to thank her tremendously. You know, like Julie and my sister Brenda out there in Philadelphia. I want to thank you all because sometimes your contribution is just one day away from me being on air the next day. And I thank you. And then there are some sisters and a brother who I don't even need to talk about. Two brothers, brother Dolly, Jonah. Jonah sets a plan in place for me, and once I showed up, it happens. And then my brother Thomas, Pastor Brendan Thomas, make sure, youngest of the pastors in the sense of being in the ministry, but he contributes on a monthly basis to the program. Folks like that are angels who have the wind beneath my wings. Then we have Sister Graham and Sister Gemma John, who, without fail, I don't even have to think about it. I just know at the end of the month, just show up and it is there. And those are the person who keep this thing going. And then Sister Beverly, I didn't have to ask Sister Beverly Peters. It was just there. She would every now and then. And these are not rich people I'm talking about, you know. And then Sister Diane, Sister Diane had been with me for so many years, I've stopped counting. And then my dear sister out there in Philadelphia, Sister at Greenwich, whenever the wind seemed to be more and the sticks seemed to be falling apart, she would come through. And those who have forgotten, who have promised me and they have forgotten, I want to say, if you have forgotten, remember today. And today is a good day. Today is a good day. And those who have never thought about giving, think about it now. You can call me on 378-49. My number. I forget my number. But you can, what I will not forget is the number, the account number for TTT Limited, First Citizen Bank. The number is what am I doing this morning, boy? The number, no, boy, this is a trick of the devil. First Citizen Bank, TTT Limited is the account. Well, I forget the number. RBC, something has gone wrong with me this morning. RBC Limited, the account number, and this is a long one, I hope you remember this one, 1000791-703-24555. That one is in my name. But TTT Limited didn't go on for me. First time. Anyway, I want to say you can call me 379-4859. That's my number. 379, see somebody sent it to me. 379-4859. Friends, if you want this program to continue, your giving is very, very, very important. May God bless you today and may you have a day of joy and pleasing. Ruskin, I don't know if you are there. I want to thank you for being the producer this morning and all those who are listening. God bless you. Bye-bye. And until next week, may the good Lord bless and keep you.